Do you know that Elon Musk, the richest man on earth, has years where he paid less tax than the average middle-class worker? It's that the system rewards ownership more than it rewards wages, like Elon Musk. Legally avoid paying income taxes. How you can apply the same principles directly to keep more of your own money. Do you know that Elon Musk, the richest man on earth, has years where he paid less tax than the average middle-class worker? It sounds unfair, even shocking, but it's true. The reason isn't that he's breaking the law. It's that the system rewards ownership more than it rewards wages. In this video, I'll break down exactly how billionaires like Elon Musk legally avoid paying income taxes. And then I'll show you how you can apply the same principles directly to keep more of your own money. The first strategy is avoiding a big salary. Most people depend on their salary, but salaries are taxed at the highest rate, and the government takes its cut before you even see the money. Elon Musk officially takes zero salary from Tesla. Mark Zuckerberg takes just $1 a year. Why? Because a paycheck is the most expensive way to get paid. Instead, billionaires choose ownership, company shares, stock options, and equity. They decide what pays them and when it pays them. If you hold shares, you don't get taxed just for owning them. If you receive stock options, you don't pay tax until you use them or sell them. That means wealth can grow on paper for years without being eaten by taxes. As George Clason wrote in The Richest Man in Babylon, "The man who places his wealth in assets grows richer, while the man who relies only on wages grows poorer." The next strategy is living off loans instead of selling. This is one of the most surprising things people learn about billionaires. Elon Musk owns billions in Tesla stock. If he sells a portion, he triggers a massive tax bill. But if he walks into a bank and says, "Here are my Tesla shares as collateral, give me a loan," the bank happily agrees. Collateral just means you promise the bank something valuable. If you don't repay, they can take it. Since Elon's stock is worth so much, banks lend at low interest. Elon gets cash to live on, and here's the key: loans are not income. That means no income tax is triggered. Meanwhile, his stock continues to grow. This is why people say the rich don't live off salaries, they live off loans. For everyday people, this principle still applies. Too many people sell investments early to cover expenses, which not only creates taxes, but also cuts short long-term growth. Instead, you can build a cash buffer, and when you really need cash, you can compare two options: a small, planned sale of investments, or a modest loan against a stable asset like a home. Loans let the rich keep their capital working, while still accessing cash. The third strategy is stock options and equity. A stock option is like a ticket that lets you buy a share later at a fixed price, even if the market price goes higher. For example, Tesla gave Elon Musk the right to buy shares at $350 each. Years later, the stock price went above $1,000. That means those options were worth billions. The key point is this: he didn't pay tax when he got those options. He only pays when he eventually uses them or sells. Until then, his wealth can keep growing without a tax bill. This is why companies use stock options for CEOs and even employees. It delays tax, motivates growth, and creates wealth that compounds over time. Stock options are a way for billionaires to stay invested and let time do the work. Then we have the strategy of holding longer to pay less tax. When the wealthy do sell, they plan carefully. In many countries, if you sell within a year, your profit is taxed just like your salary, at high rates. But if you hold for longer than a year, your profit is taxed at a much lower rate. Here's a simple example. Imagine you buy shares for $1,000 and sell them for $2,000. If you sell after 6 months, your $1,000 gain might be taxed at 30%. But if you wait 2 years, That gain might be taxed at only 15%. That means you keep far more money. And remember, you never pay tax on the original amount you invested, only on the profit. The next strategy is donating appreciated stock. Appreciated stock simply means shares that have gone up in value. Billionaires like Warren Buffett donate shares instead of cash. Why? Because if Buffett bought shares for $1 million and now they're worth $100 million, selling them would create a massive tax bill. By donating the shares directly, he avoids paying tax on the $99 million gain and still gets a deduction for the full $100 million. That's why billionaires create their own charitable foundations. It's generosity and strategy in one. And you can apply the same principle. If you invest and you give to charity, consider donating shares that went up instead of cash. You may save on taxes and multiply the impact of your giving. And finally, we come to trusts and estate planning. Wealthy people don't just think about their own lifetime. They plan for their children and grandchildren. Without planning, the government can take up to 40% of a fortune in estate taxes when someone dies. To protect their wealth, billionaires move assets into trusts. A trust is just a legal container that holds assets. Once the assets are inside, they're no longer technically part of the individual's estate. That means, when they pass away, the wealth goes directly to their heirs with fewer taxes and delays. Even if you're not a billionaire, you can still apply this lesson. Write a will. Set beneficiaries on your accounts. If you have children or meaningful assets, consider creating a basic trust. As Benjamin Franklin wisely said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Estate planning is how you make sure your wealth goes where you want it to go. If you like this video, you may also want to watch the one I've linked above about why saving is holding you back from reaching financial freedom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.